Lies and Archon here today, and I may sound a little bit louder than usual. I have the mic a little bit closer to my face. Alright, so I'm going to talk to you guys today about something a little different than usual, unpopular opinions. So I'm going to give you guys my unpopular opinions on Sonic Forces. Now these can be good opinions, it can be bad opinions, they can be stupid opinions. Most of them might be viewed as stupid, to be honest, but I digress. So I don't know if I'll have this as an ongoing thing on my channel. While my dog is scratching at my leg, he's gonna unplug the mic. You need to sit down, my guy. But basically, I don't have a script with this at all, so all this is gonna be all over the place, and it could be a long video or not. I'll throw some gameplay of Forces in the background. But to go on to the point, unpopular opinion. I personally think Sonic Forces is a good game. A lot of people don't think it's a good game due to the lack of level design, the length of the game, and pretty much the story as well. Now, I'll tell you this: I don't like the length of the levels. I will say that the levels are a little bit too short, and when I say too short, I mostly mean by level design wise. You play a game like Generations where you can, I hate comparing Forces to Generations, I really do, but think of a level like Generations. A level in Generations is like a bunch of different crap going on in Generations. Oh, you serious? You're gonna mess with the bottle now? You're gonna mess with the bottle now? Hold on a second. Alright, so like I was saying, sorry about the interrupting there. My dog, for some reason like that, always grab his bottle and make a bunch of noise and I want to record something. But level wise, like I was saying, Generations has a bunch of stuff going on in this levels, a lot of different routes. It's just a bunch of crap, and it's not a consistent amount of enemies in front of you, so you don't end up boosting the entire time. While Forces is more linear, and linear isn't always bad. It's not like it can be good, because Colors have a few linear levels and whatnot, and then people still consider it one of the greatest 3D Sonic games. But Forces had a ridiculous amount of enemies just plowed in front of you, so 95% of the time you're just boosting with not much of a design based on level of platforming and reaction base, like Unleash. Unleash is in my opinion, Unleash is what was the boost to win game out of the Colors and Generations, because you boost off of ring energy and there was rings scattered all out throughout the levels, same with enemies, but not nearly as much as Forces. Unleash had a ton of let me test your reaction. Here's some platforming. They had a great level design, but Forces didn't have much of that. Now, to touch up on story, I didn't mind the story too much. I didn't like the fact that the story was extremely inconsistent. And when I mean extremely inconsistent, there would be things that it would just you'll be at one situation and then that situation wouldn't even be solved, and then you'll be on another part of the situation. That's why I didn't like so much about the story. And in fact, it felt a little rushed. I wanted more on the story, and I was playing things off of characters and everything like that. But the story personally overall as a whole, where it was going and everything, in a darkness of the story, it reminded me, a lot of people have said it reminded me of the animated series, the one that comes on Saturday mornings, well, it used to come on Saturday mornings. I like that vibe of it, so I didn't mind the story on that aspect. I just hate the inconsistency of the story, but the story itself I liked. Now, what else was it? Yeah, the length of the game itself, I didn't mind how short the game was. I don't expect a long story-based game from Sonic, Sonic Team. I don't expect that from more cartoony-esque games. If I do get a long story, that blows me out of the water. I'm not surprised. That would surprise me if I get a long Sonic-based. Did you find another bottle? Denali? Did you really? Like I was saying, my dog interrupted me again. I made sure to get all his toys off the ground. So yeah, if I get a long story, I will be absolutely surprised. It'll blow me out of the water, because I'm not expecting a long story from a Sonic-based game or a cartoony-based game. I would say the only cartoon-based game that I'm expecting a long story out of are more RPG element-wise, or more Castlevania-based, or more role-playing, RPG was I guess you wouldn't necessarily say Legend of Zelda is basically an RPG, but it's an adventure-based game. The game is solely meant on exploration and adventure based. Like Metroid is also, you know, Castlevania, Shantae, Castlevania type based. So those games I expect a long story out of, because I know they have like huge plot points and everything like that, and plus the adventure also adds to it. But moving forward, gameplay. So gameplay in Sonic Forces is like typically every other boost to win gameplay, and I will also, like when I talk about gameplay, I will also bring in the mix of this with mechanics as well. So the boost in Sonic Forces, okay, boost in Sonic Forces, I don't know how I feel about it. I'm kind of neutral on it, but I'm more of a fan of Generations boost for some odd reason. Generations boost seems just like it just feels it feels like the right level of boost in my personal opinion. While Unleash may be my favorite 3D Boost Sonic game. Well, on Sonic, not Boost Sonic, yeah, Boost Sonic game, but for some reason Generations Boost just feels right. Unleash Boost, I'm not Unleash Boost, Forces Boost isn't bad. Like, if anything, like the air boost is broken. I don't know why the air boost is broken like that. He basically can fly without being supersonic with this air boost. I don't know why. I could jump half of the map in Mortar Canyon. I should not be able to do that. There's other levels you can do that with as well, like Luminous Forest. Like you should not be able to do that, honestly. Like you can hold it forever. When you air boost in Generations, Colors, or Unleash, you boost, and then you stop boosting because it's just a boost. It's not a continuous boost that you can just hold. Like usually when you boost in the boost game, you get that thrust and then it's gone. In this game, you get that thrust and it keeps going. Like he's going places. That's not a bad thing. It's just it's different. So I like the whole, like this is really small. Like the action lines that they have around it. When you boost, you got action lines around it. In Generations, Colors, and Unleash, you got motion blur. I'm not a fan of the action lines. A lot of people actually like the action lines. I don't. They're not bad. I prefer motion blur because it gives the effect of, you know, breaking the sound barrier a lot more, in my personal opinion, than action lines. Action lines just, they do emphasize the fact he's going fast, but it doesn't give me the feel of breaking the sound barrier. And before anybody say that when you hit the boost button in Forces, it gives the shockwave and the blur for that split second he boosts. Yes, that's true, but I like having the motion blur around Sonic as he's running the entire time. So moving on to, you know, what everybody hates, the physics. The physics in this game. Now I'll say this, I for one actually don't mind the physics. I don't hate them, I don't like them. The physics are fine. Are they Generations, Colors, Unleashed type of basis? Hell no. Those games blow the physics of Forces out the water. Alright, they make Forces physics look bad. My personal opinion, they're not bad physics. They're just not good physics. Now, a lot of people have had problem platform with Sonic and the Avatar and Classic Sonic. I can understand why they have problems with that, because for some reason, I don't know what Sonic Team did. Even though it's not necessarily 100% Sonic Team also had other people work on the game with them on the team. So it's not 100% Sonic Team, there's actually some new people in the Sonic Team, you know, like an organization or whatever team. I don't know. It sounds redundant to say team multiple times in one sentence. But yeah, so when you would jump with the classic, you would jump with the Avatar or modern Sonic, not classic Sonic, just modern and Avatar, you don't carry momentum. Like you don't have like free momentum when you jump. Like if you jump forward, you're not really going forward. You gotta build up speed in order to go forward. Now, if you have a ton of speed built up and you jump forward, you're gone. There's no, let me pull back just a little bit to lessen the jump, even though I'm still gonna overshoot it because I have momentum with me. No, it's just like, there's no like precise momentum when it comes to platforming that's Classic and Avatar. They either have no momentum or they have all the momentum. And that caused a ton of people problems. It did cause me a few problems before I realized, hey, I have to do it like this, not like that. Sorry, I had to clear my throat a little bit. Now, I don't want this video to be too long, so I'm gonna try to speed it up a little bit. Let's see, what am I forgetting? This is why I usually make bullet points and I talk about these things, but it just sprung on my mind. Like, it sprung on my mind. I was watching a Sonic video about, you know, certain games and how basically I was listening to people's like rants about Forces and other Sonic games, and there are good things about those games. So I wanted to get my unpopular opinions on the game. Now, far as classic Sonic, he was done absolutely terrible. That's not an unpopular opinion, that's just a guaranteed opinion. He was done absolutely terrible. Spin dash is meh. Platforming, like his weight, he does seem very heavy. Now, classic Sonic being able to move left and right off a jump with relative ease, and like he has like a ton of controllability, like air mobility when it comes to his jump. Like I can jump forward and instantly pull myself back. That's not a bad thing, but damn, does it definitely throw you off if you have played generations in the classic games. Even like Sonic, the Sonic 4, like, you know, episodes, like when you jump, you have the momentum and you gotta carry yourself and you gotta judge your jump. And Forces, you try to do that, you'll kill yourself by pulling back too early and not realizing when you play classic Sonic. The most hated thing though about classic Sonic is his speed. I don't know how you make a Sonic game and then make Sonic move slow, unless it's like that was a problem with Boom, but Boom's a different story. But I don't know how you make a Sonic game and make Sonic slow, even if it's classic Sonic. He was outrageously slow in this game, and once again, it's not a popular opinion. This is just something I really need to get off my chest. I hated how slow he moved. Like, the only sense of speed he got was from legitimately hitting a boost, and then he instantly, like, hitting the dash panel, he would instantly just slow down. Now I'm gonna move on back. I'm gonna touch up on levels real quick. I actually love the level design, like not level design. I love the level environments of like Sonic Forces. I like the level designs as well. Preferably my favorite level. I'll just say my favorite levels out of each category. My favorite level for classic Sonic, Ghost Town. That's everyone's favorite level. It's just done outrageously well, and the music adds to it. Even though there's giant robots in the background beating the crap out of everything, even though there's light-hearted music is playing. And I swear nobody notices, but I can hear a diamond in the sky from Sonic Runners, but not Sonic R inside that soundtrack of Ghost Town. Now, my favorite level for the Avatar stage is actually Prison. Is it Prison Lane? That's not Prison Lane. It's Prison Hall. It's Prison Hall. Prison Lane is Tails' mission from Sonic Adventure 2. But Prison Hall, I love Prison Hall. I like the fact that they even though you can't drift in this game, like they give you the drifting capability with the Avatar, even though it's forced upon you. I love that. It looks really cool, and I love the music that the music brings to the environment of the level. I like the little 2D section, I like the 3D section. Like overall, I like the quick step section. The Sonic himself doesn't have a quick step section in this game, and that baffles me. Like he has it with the Avatar, and like, you know, I believe he doesn't have one at all for no, he doesn't, do he? I don't remember. He might, but he might not. But the Avatar has like designated quick step sessions, like in Prison Hall, and like, you know, he has one in the Final Judgment level with the tag team stage. So, by the way, my favorite tag team stage is Final Judgment. My favorite modern Sonic stage, that one goes to City Heights, or it's either City Heights or what is it? Luminous Forest. It's one of those two. I just love the music and the speed that comes with Luminous Forest, and I love like the urgency of City Heights. But yeah, I love the level design in the game. Like, I like the level design in the game a lot. I feel like the reason that the level design lacks, not just because there's only two teams, only two people working on the level design, is the fact that they like, and you may say this is not an excuse, but I feel the reason that it lacks because there's two people, even though that's not a big deal, but also the fact that compared to Generations and Unleashed, this was like, I would say, a more rushed project, and I don't think Forces was necessarily meant to be like a major Sonic game, a major like 3D Sonic game. I don't think it was meant to be major like that. I think that Sonic Forces was literally just a, hey, here's a new engine, let's see how well this engine works, and hey, let's see what we can do with a different type of darker story. I think it was Sonic Forces was literally just a test upon the fans. And so far, it doesn't like it did very well, in my opinion. I personally love the game a lot. I even play it like here and there. I found myself running through the Avatar stages a lot more than Sonic stages. Another unpopular opinion. But I don't feel like the game was meant to be a major Sonic game. Like, the level designs were short and sweet and simple, just to give you a taste of the Hedgehog engine based on gameplay and graphic capability, because the spectacle of the game is absolutely amazing compared to everything else. Like the levels in my opinion, they serve their purpose. Their purpose was to get you to point A to point B as fast as possible, which is what they wanted you to do. Granted, they did it in a very lazy fashion by having a crap ton of enemies for you to walk through. Now, enemies in the game, obviously Sonic enemies aren't enemies that you really care about. They're just there to get blown up and for you to keep going. Forces enemies are a different exception. They're just a bunch of boost fuel. Like I say, out of all the 3D boost games, the most threatening enemies were Sonic Unleashed enemies. For some reason, those robots had the right type of aim or something like that, the right type of broken hitboxes that hit you in the middle of boosting, which I don't understand. Maybe it's just bad game development, or maybe those robots were elite. One of the two things. But a lot of people make complaints like, oh, the Forces enemies don't even attack, they don't even aim at you. There's certain levels where the robots will aim at you. I think that's just bad programming, but then again, like, you don't really play a Sonic game for the enemies to hit you and to cause you a hazard. The hazard in Sonic games is yourself, and bottomless pits, and spikes, and buzzsaws. Like stage hazards, not enemies. The enemies are just there for the extra spice to make it seem like Eggman is just trying to interfere in your plans. Last two things to touch up on. Last three things. Personally, I don't feel like Classic Sonic was shoehorned in. A lot of people like, oh, Classic Sonic was shoehorned in just to make the game sell or to feed off nostalgia. I don't think it was shoehorned in because the game was being worked on a while back and everything like that. So I don't think they'll just shoehorn in Classic Sonic at the last minute. Mania and Forces worked together at the same time. They wanted to merge the stories, and people could say that Forces was only $40 and Mania was $20 based upon the fact they're supposed to be one entire game. And I full on support that theory. I mean, he literally goes to a different dimension and comes into Forces. Granted, he didn't have much of a strength inside the story. Honestly, I forgot he was there sometimes. But I don't think that was he was just shoehorned in to just cash cow. Because honestly, the star of it, if he was shoehorned in, they would never really implemented the Avatar. The Avatar was implemented, honestly, in my personal opinion, for the cash cow and the fans. Literally, you see how much customization the Avatar has. He even has his own DLC. The only person that has his DLC is Super Sonic, but the Avatar has a dumb DLC, well, a ton of DLC actually, for costumes, cosmetics, and everything like that. Sonic just has one, and that's just Super. Also, granted, the Avatar is like a huge plot of the story, but that's obviously supposed to be that case. My favorite gameplay in the entire game is the Avatar, not Classic. I would never lie to you like that. My favorite gameplay in the game is can't even speak correctly. The Avatar stages. I play the Avatar stages a lot more than I play any other stage in the game. The only other stage I would play would be a tag team stage, and that tag team stage would be Final Judgment, just because of how much I love the music before you get to the core. That music gives so much sense of distress and despair entirely, and I love it because it just has like a perfect vibe of everything. Now, Infinite is a villain. A lot of people say he's too edgy. Oh my god, they tried to hurt this character. I love Infinite. Infinite is hands down my favorite villain in the entire Sonic series as a whole. And granted, I have not read all the Sonic comics. I'm actually reading those as we speak. I'll be lying if I say as we speak. But I'm reading those at the current moment. So maybe I'll find a villain in the comics that I like more than Infinite, but I doubt that. Infinite, I think, was an extremely good character. And a lot of people, I know we over theorized on his backstory. I mean, come on, can you blame us? His lyrics literally scream something a lot more than traumatic than, you know, having his gang wiped out by Shadow and being beat down by Shadow and then being called weak, you know, everything like that. His song screams a lot more than that, but certainly they didn't do a lot more than that. His backstory is actually very small, and they did him wrong entirely. Like, he has no justice in the Forces story. Like, his backstory makes him look like a little punk, like entirely. Like, oh, Shadow beat the crap out of me. I'm not weak, let me scream and cry about it and change my entire persona. That was terrible, in my personal opinion. They did it absolutely terrible. In the comics, they did it a little bit better. Like, the gang of jackals, they came to mug Eggman, and Eggman combated them off, and, you know, Eggman's like, hey, you know, if you want this power, you can get this power. We can dabble in some power, and you can become pretty strong. And I guess that ventures forth with him. Hold on a second. Alright, so yeah, like, they did the character very, like, wrong, in my personal opinion. Because Infinite, I thought that he was a really good character. Like, they had the right sense of power with this character. Like, all in all, like, he was very powerful and everything like that. He had the Phantom Ruby, not a full one, but he had like the incorporated version of it. And honestly, through the entire story, I thought Infinite actually had the actual Phantom Ruby. He just had, like, you know, the one that Eggman created, not the prototype, like the, I guess the Omega version. I don't know. It was like, obviously it wasn't the real one, but it was definitely one of, you know, the power of the Phantom Ruby. Now, the thing I hated so much was the fact that they made him very underwhelming in the story. Like, he would be into fights, and then, like, all of a sudden he would get beaten. But it would be like the you win to lose situation. Like, oh man, I beat Infinite, but in the cutscene it shows him just knock me down and GG. I didn't like that. I don't like when games do that. A lot of games do that from, you know, really, my guy? I'm about to, like, start, man, you run around the house when I do this stuff. You, like, interrupting me too much. But, you know, my dog's in the background making a bunch of noise. But, yeah, they, like, a lot of games do, like, from Dragon Ball Z to, let me see what else. Like, Dragon Ball Z does it. I know a few other games do, like, Pokken does it, I believe. But, yeah, a bunch of games actually do that, you know, you win but you lose situation. And no one likes that. No one likes that. If this character's talking mad garbage to me, and I body them in gameplay, but in the cutscene they body me, no, that's bullcrap. He talked that junk, now he gonna catch his hands. That's the way I feel about it, at least. But to further the point, Infinite was a really good character, and I hope they don't just one-off him like that, because what made me so mad about what they did with Infinite is the fact that at the end he was just pulled away. I don't like, a lot of people are like, oh man, Infinite just ran away, that's the reason why. No, I don't think Infinite just ran away. I think the Phantom Ruby has, like, his own mind of his own, or some crap like that, or Eggman called him back or something. Like, Infinite definitely isn't dead or gone, and something like that. I don't know. I don't know what's going on with Infinite. I don't know this deal with null space. Null space really pissed a lot of people off, including myself. How are you gonna have a level called null space in this cool dimension, and then just, like, say, nah, nope, go back to Metropolis? And I'm like, what the hell you mean go back to Metropolis? I want to go explore the unknown matrix of null space. Come on now. I don't know if a lot of people picked up on this, but you should have picked up on this since, like, the game started. I absolutely hate what they did with Tails. That's my email. No, that's my Twitter. I hate how they did Tails. It's not an unpopular opinion. It's a pretty popular opinion. I hope it's a popular opinion, because if it's an unpopular opinion, I'm pretty pissed. But what they did with Tails used to be able to do a bunch of stuff back in the day. Not even back in the day that far, honestly. He's able to do a bunch of stuff, saying, like, even in colors for instance, like, colors Tails was useful. I'm like, come on, man. Like, and Unleashing Forces, they just made Tails like this coward for some reason. In the newer games, like, Tails can't do anything. This is why, like, traditional Tails is becoming, like, less of my favorite, and Boom Tails is becoming more of my favorite. Because at least Boom Tails fights with a wrench or something, even though he's more capable to fight with than his wrench. But I digress. The last thing I have to say about Forces is the music. Now, obviously, the music in Forces, in my personal opinion, is absolutely amazing. Some people don't even like the vocal soundtracks. I love the vocal soundtracks in Forces. My favorite of all the vocal soundtracks, it was such a hard tie between what is it called? Imperial Tower? I don't know the actual song, but I know the stages. Imperial Tower and what's the other one? These are vocal tracks. My favorite vocal tracks, by the way. It's a hard choice between Imperial Tower and Aqua Road. Aqua Road, those two songs alone, like, set the vibe for the Avatar, and, like, so much for me. And now for modern stages, like Sonic, my favorite songs from him is Luminous Forest and City Heights. Those two. As generic as City Heights is, and as popular as City Heights may be, it is my favorite two songs. For classic, Ghost Town and the Death Egg Robot, the beginning part when you're fighting, you know, Eggman and the classic Wrecking Ball type of thing with the buzzsaw. I love that theme so much. Now, here's the unpopular opinion about the music. Besides me loving it, the synth. I like the synth. You know, the whole that stuff in the background. Well, mainly taking over most of the soundtrack. I actually like it. I like it a lot. A lot of people hate it. They said let the instruments do the work. Yes, I like the instruments a lot too. You know, obviously my favorite Sonic game of all time is Adventure 2. So yeah, I definitely love the instruments, obviously. But the synths aren't bad either. I would say the only time they get really freaking annoying And I'm trying to get really freaking annoying is in City Heights. City Heights, I swear, that song is 98% synth and everything else is like 2%. Like, it's just nothing but synth the entire song. I don't think there's a break that you could actually hear a guitar actually strum. Now, Luminous Forest has a bunch of synth too, but at the same time, there's breakdowns where you can hear that guitar so heavy. But so far, these are basically my unpopular opinions on Sonic Forces. I know there's some popular thrown in there and everything like that, but it's kind of hard to avoid popular opinions. Now, something I always wanted from Sonic Forces that people may not want is DLC. Some people say that. I think some people do want DLC actually, because how are you gonna give us episode Shadow, which is really nice and short. I hate how short it was, but I do love the interaction between Team Dark. It's always nice to hear. But I want more DLC personally. Like, they can give us they don't have to give us character DLC. They can give us stage DLC. They can give us like character DLC would be very nice because it would be nice to play more Sonic characters in the franchise. But I want stage DLC as well. Give me some like Unleashed-esque like DLC stages. You know, DLC that's actually worth your money and not charging someone $2 for Super Sonic. Honestly, I wasn't really pissed off about that. I can care less about having Super Sonic in a game now because I'll just say this right now, Unleashed did the best. But as usual, you know, you have yourself a nice day, and I might have some popular opinions on other games in the future. If you want me to say unpopular game, if you guys suggest some popular games, if I haven't played them, I'll try to play them or I'll watch a playthrough of them and I'll get my popular opinion on it. If not, if there's games I did play, I'll get my popular opinion, but I'll also have my own videos. But if you guys have suggestions, let me know and I'll look into them. But as far as now, I'll just be selecting games I think are heavily hated or heavily loved, and I'll give my popular opinion on all of them. So, like I said before, as usual, have yourself a nice day. And this video is a lot longer than I freaking thought. Goodbye.